I know this may sound strange, because for years you've been told to drink more water, that it's good for your health. But here's the truth you need to hear. Most men over 50 drink water incorrectly for their sexual health, at the wrong time, in the wrong amount, and sometimes even the wrong type of water. When you correct this, you can improve circulation, energy, and yes, erections noticeably. Today I'm going to explain why water is so important for your sexual function, how dehydration slowly sabotages your performance, and exactly how to drink water in a way that promotes strong and lasting erections after 50. By the end of this video, you're going to understand why I call water one of the most underestimated performance boosters in the world. I'm Dr. Evelyn Carter, a urologist with over 20 years of experience specialized in men's health. And let me tell you something. Last week, I saw a 67-year-old patient in my office in Madrid, a gentleman who had tried everything, the supplements, the medications, but nothing really worked. After 20 minutes of conversation, I discovered that he drank barely half a liter of water a day, and the rest was coffee, red wine with meals, and some beers on the weekend. In 6 weeks, just by changing the way he hydrated, he called me to tell me that his intimate life had changed completely. That's the power of water when we know how to use it. Before continuing, if you're finding this video useful, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. And if you're ready to make this change, write a 1 in the comments. Let's start with something simple, but that we often forget. An erection is, in its essence, a hydraulic event. Think of this like a garden hose. It needs water pressure to function. Your erectile tissue needs a constant and powerful flow of blood to fill up, expand, and remain firm. And here's the key point. Your blood is composed mainly of water. Without enough water in the body, blood volume decreases, circulation slows down, and that perfect pressure you need for a complete erection becomes compromised. In my clinical experience of over 20 years, I see this constantly. Men who are even slightly dehydrated describe their erections as weaker, slower to form, or disappearing quickly. When you don't drink enough, the body doesn't just feel a little thirsty. It enters conservation mode, a survival adjustment that prioritizes the brain, heart, and other essential organs that receive the first part of your reduced blood reserve. Unfortunately, in the hierarchy of survival, your penis is not on the priority list. So even though your mind is willing, your body may literally be unable to send enough blood to create and maintain firmness. I met Michael, a retired accountant, 61 years old from Barcelona. Michael came to my office complaining of weak erections that appeared and disappeared for no apparent reason. He was an active man, walked every day, ate relatively well. But when I asked him about his hydration, he told me something I hear all the time. "Doctor, I drink when I'm thirsty." There's the problem. Thirst is a late indicator. When your brain sends the thirst signal, your body is already operating at a deficit. Michael drank maybe 1.5 liters a day, but half of it was coffee and black tea, both diuretics that made him eliminate more fluid than he consumed. I gave him a simple plan. Start every morning with 400 ml of warm water with lemon and a pinch of Himalayan pink salt. Then drink half a glass of water every hour during the day. Nothing dramatic, just consistency. After 3 weeks, Michael returned with a smile I hadn't seen before. "Doctor," he told me, "not only are my erections stronger, but I have more energy throughout the day. I wake up less at night to go to the bathroom and I feel, younger. That's what happens when you give your body what it needs." There's another hidden problem you need to know about. Dehydration makes your blood become thicker. Imagine pouring water through a straw. Easy, right? Now imagine trying to push syrup through the same straw. Thicker blood has more difficulty traveling quickly through your arteries, especially the smaller ones that irrigate the penis. And here's where age adds another challenge. After 50, blood vessels tend to be less flexible due to natural changes in collagen, in nitric oxide production, and in possible plaque formation. If your arteries are already a bit stiff, the last thing you need is slow and sticky blood trying to make its way through them. Let me tell you about Robert, A 58-year-old taxi driver from Valencia. Robert spent 10 hours a day sitting in his taxi. He drank coffee constantly to stay awake and barely touched water because he didn't want to be stopping to go to the bathroom all the time. When he came to my office, his erections had practically disappeared. "Doctor," he told me, "I don't even have morning erections anymore. That's a warning sign. Morning erections depend on optimal blood flow during sleep. Without them, we know something is blocking the system." I reviewed his tests. His blood was within normal range, but when I asked for a urine sample, it was dark yellow, almost orange, severe dehydration. I explained to him that his blood was so thick that his small arteries simply couldn't handle the flow necessary for an erection. I gave him a strict protocol: water from the moment he woke up, half a liter before starting work, and a glass every 2 hours during his shift. Yes, he was going to have to stop to go to the bathroom, but that was preferable to losing his sexual function completely. 4 weeks later, Robert sent me a message. "Doctor, the morning erections are back." And last night, for the first time in months, I was able to be with my wife without worrying. That's the power of hydration when it's done correctly. Now let me reveal the hidden sources of dehydration that you probably don't know about. Some men tell me confidently that they drink a lot of water, but when I investigate and ask exactly what they drink, the truth appears. It's largely coffee, tea, soft drinks, or even alcohol. Although these beverages contain water, they also have compounds that work against you. Coffee and black tea are mild diuretics that stimulate the kidneys to eliminate fluid more quickly, which means that with each cup you drink, you may lose more water than you imagine. Alcohol goes further because it inhibits the hormone that helps the body retain water, leading to more frequent urination and therefore faster dehydration. The tricky part is that mild dehydration isn't even dramatic. Maybe you're not thirsty or dizzy, but your body may be operating at a deficit. One of the most reliable ways to check is to observe the color of your urine. Light yellow, like straw, generally means good hydration. But if it's constantly dark yellow, your body is sending a silent signal that it needs more fluid. Another sign that many men ignore is that mid-afternoon fatigue, that heavy and sluggish feeling where your eyelids start to close. Often it's not just low energy or hunger, it's the body trying to conserve resources because blood volume is slightly reduced. Muscle cramps, especially in the calves or thighs at night, may seem like a matter of age, but they're often linked to both dehydration and low electrolytes, like magnesium and potassium. And here's a subtle but important sign: weaker or less frequent morning erections, because they depend heavily on optimal blood flow and nerve signaling. I met Charles, a 64-year-old engineer from Seville. Charles told me that his morning erections, which he'd had all his life, had simply disappeared in the last 2 years. "Doctor," he told me, "it's like my body is shut down." I asked him about his sleep habits, his diet, his exercise. Everything seemed relatively normal. But when I asked him how much water he drank, he fell silent. "Maybe a liter a day," he said. "The rest is coffee and sometimes a glass of wine." Charles didn't realize it, but he was chronically dehydrated. His body had entered permanent conservation mode. I gave him the same protocol as all my patients. Start the day with water, drink constantly during the day, and compensate for each coffee with an extra glass of water. In 2 weeks, Charles called me. "Doctor, the morning erections are back. I can't believe it. I thought it was age, but it was just water." Let's now talk about the common hydration mistakes I see constantly. The first is what I call panic drinking. When a man realizes he hasn't drunk enough water during the day and suddenly gulps down 2 or 3 large glasses at once, especially just before intimacy. The idea is to flood the system, but this can do more harm than good, because drinking large amounts quickly can dilute the sodium in the blood too fast, a condition called hyponatremia that not only causes swelling but can also cause headaches, dizziness, and even muscle weakness. Another common mistake is the desert and flood cycle, going hours without drinking anything, letting yourself dry out like a plant in the sun, and then trying to compensate at night with several glasses at once. The problem is that your body thrives on consistency. Your cells, your blood vessels, and yes, erectile tissue function better when they're constantly hydrated throughout the day. I met William, a 59-year-old lawyer from Bilbao. William worked 12 hours a day and completely forgot to drink water. At night, when he finally got home, he would drink 3 or 4 large glasses of water in one go, thinking he was compensating. But what he was really doing was overloading his system. He complained to me about bloating, getting up 3 or 4 times at night to go to the bathroom, and inconsistent erections. I explained to him that he was creating chaos in his body. The solution was simple. Drink constantly during the day, not large amounts at once. After adjusting his habits, William not only improved his erections, but also slept better, lost the bloating, and felt more energetic. So here's what I recommend to my patients. And frankly, it's so simple that you may be tempted to dismiss it, but don't. The first thing is to start tomorrow morning with a large glass of water. And when I say large, I'm talking about at least 300 to 400 ml within 20 minutes of waking up. Think about what your body did all night long. You breathed, perspired slightly, and filtered waste through the kidneys for 7 or 8 hours without ingesting a single drop of liquid. Therefore, you wake up in a state of mild dehydration, whether you perceive it or not. This morning, glass works as the first flush of the day for your system. It rehydrates cells, wakes up blood vessels, and signals the kidneys to begin efficiently eliminating toxins accumulated during the night. If you want to make this glass even more powerful for vascular health, I recommend adding a small pinch of Himalayan pink salt and the juice of half a fresh lemon. This combination isn't just for flavor. The natural minerals in the salt, like magnesium and potassium, help restore the electrolyte balance essential for proper muscle contraction and nerve function, including the smooth muscles of the arteries that allow blood to circulate to the penis. The lemon provides vitamin C, a powerful antioxidant that helps protect nitric oxide from breaking down too quickly in the bloodstream. Nitric oxide is the gas your body produces to relax blood vessels, allowing them to open. And protecting it means stronger and longer-lasting erections. From there, the strategy shifts to what I call constant drip. Instead of relying on a few large intakes throughout the day, try to drink small amounts, about half a glass every 45 to 60 minutes. Think of this as keeping your garden hose under constant pressure, instead of turning it off for hours and then turning it on at maximum power. This slow and steady hydration maintains optimal blood volume, prevents the lethargy that accompanies mild dehydration, and allows the cardiovascular system to function at maximum throughout the day. If you know you're going to have intimacy later, maintain constant consumption during the day, but stop drinking large amounts about 45 minutes before. That gives the body enough time to process the last intake without leaving you distracted by a full bladder when things heat up. Many also ask me, "Doctor, what about coffee?" I can't live without my morning coffee, I understand. I'm Spanish. Coffee is sacred to us. But here's the strategy. For every cup of coffee you drink, add an extra glass of water to your day. That way you compensate for the diuretic effect. And if possible, try not to exceed 3 coffees per day. The same for red wine at lunch or dinner. It's fine in moderation, but always follow with water. Let me give you a concrete example of what your ideal hydration day could look like. 7 in. The morning, you wake up. 400 ml of warm water with lemon and pink salt. 8:30, your first coffee. No problem, but add a glass of water right after. 10 in the morning, half a glass of water. Noon, lunch. A glass of water before eating. 2 in the afternoon, half a glass. 4 in the afternoon, another half glass. It's often the time of fatigue. The water will help you. 6 in the afternoon, a glass before dinner. 8 at night, 1 last half glass, but no more after, to avoid getting up at night. See? It's not complicated. It's just a matter of habit. At first, set alarms on your phone if necessary. After 2 weeks, it becomes automatic. And the results, most of my patients tell me they notice a difference in 10 to 14 days. First, it's the energy that returns, then sleep that improves, and then sexual function that follows. Now, for those who've had prostate surgery, I see this question in the comments all the time. Yes, hydration continues to be crucial for you too. In fact, after prostate surgery, maintaining good blood flow is even more important for recovery of erectile function. Water helps keep tissues flexible and well oxygenated. But careful if you have incontinence problems, work with your urologist to find the right balance. Maybe drink less at night to avoid waking up during the night, but compensate by drinking more earlier during the day. Here's something few people know. Testosterone production is a multi-stage process that depends heavily on healthy kidney and adrenal gland function. The kidneys filter blood, maintain electrolyte balance, and regulate fluid levels in a way that directly supports hormonal stability. When your body lacks water, these two systems have to work harder to keep you alive. This stress response triggers increased production of cortisol, the main stress hormone. And unfortunately, cortisol and testosterone don't make a good combination because elevated cortisol suppresses testosterone production. I met James, a 62-year-old teacher from Zaragoza. James was exhausted all the time. No libido, no energy, no motivation. When I reviewed his tests, his testosterone was at 290 ngdl, very low for a man his age. I asked him about stress, sleep, diet. But when I asked him about water, he admitted he drank very little, maybe a liter a day. I gave him the hydration protocol and also recommended reducing coffee and increasing foods rich in zinc and magnesium. 6 weeks later, James returned for another test. His testosterone had risen to 480 DL, almost double. "Doctor," he told me, "I feel like a new man. I have energy, I have desire, my wife is happy, all because I started drinking water correctly." Erections aren't simply about pushing blood to the penis. It's about sending an incredibly precise sequence of signals from the brain through the spinal cord, through the pelvic nerves, and to the smooth muscles of the penis. When you're dehydrated, the fluid balance inside and around nerve cells changes, which can slow down those impulses. The result is less spontaneous arousal, an erection that takes longer, or even difficulty maintaining it because the communication lines are delayed. This is where the real magic happens. Water alone is powerful, but when you combine proper hydration with other performance-boosting habits, you multiply the benefits. Circulation-friendly foods like beets, spinach, berries, and salmon help keep arteries flexible, reduce inflammation, and increase nitric oxide production. When your body is well hydrated, these nutrients can be delivered more efficiently to the tissues that need them. Physical activity is another ally. Even something as simple as a brisk 20-minute walk increases blood flow to the lower half of the body. But if you're dehydrated, this exercise benefit diminishes because blood becomes thicker. The heart works harder and muscles tire faster. We can't forget sleep because without quality rest, all this effort begins to crumble. The body produces most of its testosterone during the deepest phases of sleep, and dehydration can sabotage this process in two ways. It can make you wake up more times, and it can increase nighttime urination, further interrupting those deep sleep cycles. Look, I've seen men in their 50s, 60s, and even 70s transform their level of intimacy and energy by making just this one change. Water isn't just about avoiding thirst, it's about fueling the very systems that make you feel alive, confident, and capable. When you hydrate consistently, you give the heart, blood vessels, nerves, and hormones the conditions they need for maximum performance. Tomorrow morning, start with that glass of water, the lemon, and the pinch of pink salt. Drink constantly throughout the day, and watch how in the next week or two your energy increases, mood improves, and yes, erections become more reliable. Small changes add up, and this one costs nothing, has no side effects, and benefits your entire body. One last important thing. If you're taking blood pressure or heart medications, talk to your doctor before drastically changing your water intake, because some medications can affect fluid balance. But in general, for most healthy men, gradually increasing water only has benefits. If this video has helped you, please leave a like so that YouTube's algorithm knows this content is valuable and helps us reach more men who need this information. Share with a friend or family member who could benefit. You never know the impact that could have. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and activate the bell to receive notifications of all our men's health tips. I'm Dr. Evelyn Carter, and I firmly believe that your best years can still be ahead of you. It all starts with taking care of the basics. See you in the next video.